Good evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of Botoșani, Brăila, Brașov, and Buzău in Romania. This is episode 3 of Romania Mania. And I'm glad that you guys are enjoying it. All the Romanians out there are enjoying it, for all of those. And there's a lot of you who are like, cover Timișoara. I'd love to. Timișoara is wonderful, but I am going in alphabetical order around the world. I have to make up for my oopsies in Romania this week. And then after we do Kalarashi down here, and Karash 7 tomorrow over here. We'll be all caught up, and all of the counties of Romania will be in the regular rotation. So it'll happen someday. I'm sorry it's going to take a long time, but we'll get there. But I do hear you, and I do love Timișoara, but not anytime soon. So let's get into this, because we have a lot to cover tonight. We have 4 counties to get through. 3 of them have kind of short histories, so hopefully this evens out. And I think what I'm going to do is just go one by one in order. I think that's the best way to do it. Let's review our 3 historic regions of Romania. See if you remember. This one over here, in kind of this armpit of the Carpathian Mountains, is, that's right, Transylvania. That's the easy one to remember. And we'll be looking at Brașov, and on Google Earth we'll of course be looking at Bran Castle, which is the Dracula castle, later in the video. Down here in the south, oh my gosh, my cats are wilding out. In the southeastern part of Romania, we have, Wallachia. And we're going to be in this half of Wallachia. Turns out that Wallachia is also split into different regions. Oh my gosh, ignore my kitten wilding out in the background. Wallachia is split into 2 regions, and we're going to be in Muntenia tonight. Muntenia is this area here. That's Greater Wallachia, and then Oltenia is Lesser Wallachia, like over here. And then this area where we're starting tonight is Moldavia. Easy to remember because it borders Moldova. Just like our county tonight borders Moldova, it also borders Ukraine here in the north. Now, there's not much to say in terms of landscape and geography. There are many rivers that cross through and create the borders. I know the Prut River creates this border here with Moldova, but many rivers flow throughout. It's not nearly as mountainous as other parts of Romania. There's only like a couple of historical facts about this county, so let's run through them real quick. Like 3 things to know. One of them is that there were a lot of battles that took place in this county between Moldavia and Poland way back in the day. And it was fought over constantly between those 2 powers. Poland kept trying to invade. The other fact is, like, the one that came up the most in my research, it came up everywhere, is that this is the birthplace of Mihai, I just forgot his name. Eminescu. Yes, sorry. Mihai Eminescu. Should I check my notes? Mihai Eminescu. So sorry. He's like the national poet of Romania. His name is on everything here in Botoșani. I've seen his name in other places as I've been covering cities in Romania. He's everywhere. Mihai Eminescu. So just know that. The other fact that was interesting about Botoșani that was different from all the other places that I researched in Romania was about its Jewish population. This was a big haven for Jewish culture prior to the World Wars. There were tens of thousands of Jewish people living here. Of course, World War II rolls along, the Iron Guard, Hungary invades. I don't think they reached this far, but it was very bad, to put it very lightly. We're not going to get into what happened for monetization purposes, for relaxation purposes, and I feel like everybody already knows the history that happened to the Jewish people of Europe during World War II, right? We all know it. I don't need to repeat it. But here's the interesting thing. After World War II, many Jewish people who had lost their homes or lost families moved to Botoșani. Many who were actually deported from Botoșani managed to return. And it's one of the few places where the Jewish population increased after World War II, like significantly. Not to what it once was, but far more than like any other place in Romania that I have seen, at least. That has since dipped. Many of the people moved mostly to Israel, the United States, where else? So it's not nearly as big at all as it once was, but I thought that was an interesting story. I found a website of Jewish history that explained how that all worked. And I thought that was very interesting. So that's all that I really have for you for Botoșani. If I were only covering this county, it would be a tablet-only episode. And if you're like, oh darn, I love the tablet-only episodes, don't you worry, because tomorrow's last episode of Romania Mania is going to be tablet-only. So don't you worry, it's coming. But that's all that's really to say about little Botoșani up here. Let's move down to Wallachia. Over here in Brăila. You can see the borders right here. Brăila. See this big waterway cutting through? Actually goes this way. That is the mighty Danube River, probably the most famous river in Europe, among others, but that's got to be at least top 3, top 2 even, most famous rivers in Europe. And the city of Brăila is along its shore there. The rest of the county is pretty much farmland, especially this area here. Oh boy, you'll see on Google Earth, it's just a beautiful patchwork. Everywhere else is lovely farmland as well. And then this is the city center. Now this is very important because this was once a big port city, and I look at this map and be like, how is that possible? The water's over here. But this area is navigable by the ocean ships, I guess, of the time. So this was a very important harbor to Wallachia. This area also not mountainous like at all. This sits in an area known as the Bagaran Plain. So perfect for farmland, and you've got all this water as well. Perfect for farming. So this area was very important to the region, and because of that, it was attacked many times. It was sacked by the Mongols in 1241, and real quick, I think what happened is that when the Mongols attacked what's now Romania in 1241, some sources call them the Tatars, which, like, later in history, the Tatars are an offshoot of the offshoot of the offshoot of the Mongols living in Ukraine. I thought that was them, and the Mongols were different, but apparently some sources called the Mongols the Tatars. I think it's just a localization thing, so I said they were two different people. They weren't. Hello, loud car outside. There they go. Okay. So, my bad for that. They're all one and the same at this point. Oh, here comes the loud car. There they go. Goodbye, loud car. Goodbye. Just like the Mongols roaring through Brăila in 1241, the loud car rumbles outside. The city was also attacked by the Ottoman Empire quite a few times, the largest being in 1462. Hold that thought. And then there were many attacks from Moldavia trying to conquer this area from Wallachia, like too many to mention. So they said, hold that thought. Did you hold it? Because here it comes. In 1538, the Ottomans attacked Brăila and managed to capture it. And it remained a port city of the Ottoman Empire until 1829. In 1829, the Ottomans fought the Russians, and can you believe it? The Russo-Turkish War. What a name. You know exactly what's going on in that war. In part of the peace treaty, this area was given back to Wallachia, and then therefore would become part of Romania. We're going to save Brașov for last and just hop next door to Buzău, which is also within the Bogaran Plain, but over here it is very mountainous. The Transylvanian Alps cut through this area here, and there's some neat things to see here, even mud volcanoes. So, but don't forget to show you the mud volcanoes. They're very cool. Making sure that I don't forget anything. Muntenia, yes, it's in Muntenia. The Buzău Mountains, what they're called here. The Buzău River flows through. Can you believe it? Buzău. Wow. And this area was very important to Romania because it was essentially the crossroads between the three regions of what's now Romania. Oh, also a lot of Hungarians were like, you know, Transylvania is supposed to be part of Hungary, and I am well aware of that. I'm very sorry for your loss. It's complicated. You know, where I live right now belongs to the Native American tribe. But I'm here, so that's how it is today, unfortunately. That's just how the world is at the moment. The moment it's Romania. I'm sorry for your loss of Transylvania, Hungarians, who are still salty after 1918 and World War II. But Buzău. It became a huge marketplace, and where people of all three regions here and beyond could meet up and trade and buy and sell goods. There's also a big fortress built there to protect it from invaders, and those invaders would mostly be the Ottomans. They would also come countless times, destroy the entire city, and everyone would return and rebuild the city. The Ottomans would come back, destroy everything. The people would return and rebuild. Buzău was rebuilt many, many times. And that is why if you see their county's crest, county symbol is a phoenix rising from the ashes, because Buzău has done that multiple times. And that's basically the history of these three little regions here. Brașov over here in Transylvania has a much more interesting history. This is like the heart of Transylvania over here. And there's many other important areas. I know Timișoara, I hear you guys. But this is like the cultural heart of Transylvania right here. We are once again along the Transylvanian Alps. The Făgăraș Mountains are just over here along the border, along with the highest peak in Romania, Moldovino, I think is how you say that. Also known as the Carpathian Mountains, by the way. It's just this area is known as the Transylvanian Alps. But this whole stretch you can see right here is the Carpathian Mountains. They're one and the same. So Brașov, even though there is lots of evidence of the ancient Dacians and the Romans, of course, Brașov was established in the year 1211 by the Teutonic Knights. They were commissioned by the King of Hungary to build a town here and a fortress area, which they were later evicted from. The Hungarian king, Hungarian nobility, allowed the Transylvanian Saxons, as they've become known as, to move into the area and populate Transylvania. We talked about them, I think, in yesterday's video, how apparently they weren't actually Saxon. but most were of Germanic origin, and that's just the name that stuck, the Transylvanian Saxons. So they formed a very large part of the population here of Brașov, although it did become very multicultural. There developed a very large Romanian population, believe it or not, in this area, and became a real heartland for Romanian culture. The first school that taught in Romanian was built here in 1559. It was the first place that a book was published in Romanian, the first Romanian newspaper, so on and so forth. Really became the spark for a Romanian culture. It was also a big center for craftsmen and merchants. There are lots and lots of guilds that existed in this city for those people to meet and exchange ideas and, of course, buy and sell. Now, what's interesting about Brașov, really today, is that it was a fortified city, but those fortifications, for the most part, held. And many are still around today, and because of that, there are many medieval-style buildings that still stand here in Brașov. The Ottomans did not come and burn it all to the ground like Buzău or Brăila. Oh, my cat's up here now. He's going to start wobbling around the desk. I can't control him. He is a beast. So we'll get to see lots of really cool, beautiful, very old buildings on Google Earth here in Brașov, and really gives it a lot of character that other Romanian cities and towns don't have anymore. Making sure that these cats aren't too crazy. Okay. One of those structures is known as the Black Church. It was not a black building until 1689, when a huge fire broke out in the town, burning many buildings, and the huge stones, bricks, what have you, I think it's stones, also got caught in the fire and charred. And the building isn't black, but it's definitely not white. It's kind of a very dark gray color. You'll see it on Google Earth in a bit. And it has retained the nickname of the Black Church ever since. Now, just some quick Romanian history, because the history here ties in with the history of the rest of Romania. Like I mentioned, Transylvania was part of the Kingdom of Hungary for a very, very long time. After World War I, when Austria-Hungary lost, or they were on the losing side, I should say, this area was given to Romania, and it unified with Romania in 1918. Over here, we already discussed in Alba Iulia, where everything was officially signed. So during World War II, when the Axis powers allied with Hungary and said, yeah, just take back what was once yours, Hungary came, invaded, took everything. The Soviets invaded. The Romanian king held a coup and switched sides to the Allies and took everything back. But that opened up the door to communism in Romania. And one thing that happened in all four regions here was that, and like all the other regions I mentioned, they became very heavily industrialized. I think out of the four, Buzău might be the most industrialized, but Brașov also became very, very industrialized as well, just because it's a very large city compared to many of the other places that we discussed already in the series. These industries went on strike in 1987, kind of one of the very first sparks in the Romanian Revolution that would come to a head in 1989. No pun intended for Ceausescu there. And would lead to the end of communism in Romania. Sorry, I threw myself off there. And that is essentially the history of these four regions, these four counties of Romania. Now there's some interesting stuff to show you. Like I said, we've got some volcanoes. We've got some cool stuff in Brăila. We'll go look at some Mihai. Oh, how do I keep forgetting his name? Mihai Eminescu stuff in Botoșani, and of course, beautiful, beautiful Brașov. And it's located about over here or so is the town of Bran, or Bran in English, where Bran Castle or Bran Castle is located, which is designated the Dracula Castle. So let's head over to the tablet and take a look. And hopefully these cats stop growling at each other in the meantime. Here we are, starting off in Botoșani County. And of course, let's start by zooming out so you can see exactly where we are in the world. In case you haven't seen the other videos, here's Romania. It is located in Eastern Europe, almost like Southeastern Europe. It's pretty much as far east as you can go, or southeast, before you start hitting the Balkans, because this is definitely not a Balkan area. It's its own thing. It's Eastern Europe. And here you can see the Carpathians curving through here. And here you can really see, like, this is Transylvania, this is Wallachia, and this is Moldavia. The cats are still wilding out. They are an unstoppable force right now. If you've seen the earlier videos, we got a new kitten. He's locked up right now so that they're not, like, arguing while I'm filming, but they're still wilding out, so we will let them be. Hopefully you like the sounds of their little chirps in the background. Can see the rivers here, creating this very like green and squiggly landscape around there. If we zoom in, you can just see that this is just a bunch of farmland. I really didn't find very much in this county. See the border with Ukraine over there. Everything turns Ukrainian and Cyrillic right over the border. But yeah, it's mostly just very quiet little farmland here along the border with Moldova. Let's see. Where did Botoșani go? I lost it before when I was researching, and it took me a very long time to find it. It was very embarrassing. But here it is, Botoșani. So let's see what we can find. We have, let's see, the main plaza, or piazza as it's called in Romanians, over here, named December 1918. There is a statue here for World War I veterans, or I think commemorating a soldier who lost their life, which is kind of the same difference. A loud car came back. There they go. Goodbye. You can see some of the pretty buildings here. This one's quite nice. So I was about to say, they're not nearly as beautiful as we looked in like Orania, right? Not as like intricate and beautiful. Wow, there's a big truck outside. Oh, it's a tow truck and they're towing a car. Oh, I hope that they're all right. I hope that their car isn't too devastated. There they go. This building's really pretty. I kind of take that back. Some of these are quite nice. Looks like it's a national day over here. Yeah, it's actually, I kind of, oh, there's the sips. That's very important. Lots of shopping in this town, I've noticed. They have a traditional market. Look, there's Mihai Eminescu. I told you, he's everywhere here because he was born here. Oh, nice. But there's like a lot of shopping here, like malls and stuff all over the place here. Good place to come and spend some money. See, there's the Mihai Eminescu Theater. Let's take a look. Why not? It's very beautiful, of course. There he is. Very stone, isn't it? I wonder if this was built during the communist era, because it looks a bit brutalist, right? Not very like an ornate palace, like many other like theaters and opera houses tend to be. And then there's a beautiful park over here, the Mihai Eminescu Park. His name's all over the place. They love him. Look, their paddle boats. Those are always so fun. Some statues here. Probably showing some other, maybe like authors or important people to Romanian history, of course. You can sit with him. And Lots of Soviet style statues there. All kinds of neat places to enjoy your time, even for the littles. They got a big old slide. I love paddle boats. That's so fun. There's my cats going wild. But that's pretty much all that I need to show you in Botoșani. Let's head down to Brăila. So now they're scratching under the desk. Ignore them. So as you can see, all of this beautiful patchwork here, it's all farmland. I really didn't find much in this county to look at because it's all farmland. But it's still so pretty from above. I love looking at farmland from above. Soon he'll be done scratching. But look how interesting this town is shaped here on the Danube River. It kind of radiates out from here in this kind of circular or half-circular pattern. And that's because this was once the fort. This was definitely the interior here. It was, star-shaped like all the other forts, but that shape is really lost in the modernization there. But this is definitely like the heart of the city, the central area there. Here's the local museum named after King Carl I. And we can see this big pillar here is in the park as well. That this is what the city once looked like. There's the center and the little starry shaped walls there. Big cliff leading down to the Danube. Now it very much does not look like that, doesn't it? It's a beautiful, big, sprawling city today. Let me see, was there anything else I needed to show you in Brăila? I don't quite remember. There's a lovely like river walk area here with lots of cool boats, like even houseboats that you can come look at. It's pretty neat, but I don't think there was anything else that I absolutely had to show you here. Oh, pardon my tummy. That was very loud. Let me see. Let me just look at the main slideshow and see if there was anything else I wanted to show you. Of course, there's beautiful churches all throughout. Hi, Kitty. My little girl's here. Okay. Some very Soviet-style apartment blocks there and factories mixed in with all of the beautiful old buildings there. Isn't that pretty? Beautiful fountains. Very beautiful fountains. And yeah, I don't think there is much else to show you here. But it's all quite nice regardless. Yeah, like I said in the other videos, you can tell the Soviet architecture from the just regular part of the towns, either before or after that time of Romanian history. Why are you guys so, you know what, they were dead asleep before I hit record, and now they're absolutely going crazy. I'm so sorry. My goodness. Do you think maybe for 5 more minutes, cats, you could let me have this? Okay, they said no, so let's get through this. Let's hop over next door to Buzău. There's Brașov, so that's too far. There's Buzău. I have to remember. Oh yeah, the parks. This place really knows how to make a park. Here's the county museum. I've been afraid to say the Romanian word for county because I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. I can't find an exact way to say it. So Alex, or one of the other many Romanians, will tell me how. I think it's Udets. Let me know how close I was. I'm not quite sure how J's work in Romanian, but do you see all the cool stuff in here? Look at all the old flags, all the neat clothes. I love the little kid clothes there. And look at the fancy dresses. I love seeing what was considered fancy back in the day, because it's always so much nicer than what we have now, I think. All the telephones. What this town used to look like once upon a time. The little fort area. That's how you used to make phone calls back in the day. You'd have a telegraph operator wire you through to someone. And lots of war memorials there, it looks like, and little like school supplies here. Everything you need to do geometry and arithmetic. And all of your books. There's an alphabet book. But yeah, I'll show you this park last because as you can tell it's beautiful. But I also really like this park right here. It's got a lot of beautiful buildings. I think that's a restaurant I read about, or maybe that was the one in the other park. But there's statues and lakes, and look at this pretty garden here. All these really cool, this is a very abandoned building. How fun is that? Big haunted building, lily pad lake, manicured gardens here, all like French style. Little bridges over the ponds, old school fountains. Like, I was looking at this like, man, this park is gorgeous. They got swans. You know your park is bougie when you got swans, right? And haunted old buildings and beautiful sunsets over the ponds. I was like, that's gorgeous. And then I looked at this park and this doesn't hold a candle to that park. So this is the Krong Park, I believe. And it's massive and even more beautiful. That's a restaurant. Yeah, that's definitely a restaurant. It says it on there. Lots of even more cool statues. They've got fountains and the lakes. Beautiful Christmas displays, of course, which I'm sure they're just all taken down recently because it's January that I'm filming this. I'm sure it was all decked out. They've got rope walks, little chapel right there, beautiful lights. They even got paddle boats. And there's a war memorial with all of the names on it for those who are lost. And of course, I'm sure they have loads of ducks and probably like frogs and maybe turtles, all kinds of little pond creatures there. Really beautiful little town. They really know how to make a park. Those are beautiful, beautiful parks. Let me just look at the main slideshow to see all of the other buildings here. This was mentioned a lot, but I think that's like the City Hall building, if I recall. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's very pretty. And of course, at Christmas, everything is gorgeous. But yeah, I really wanted to show you the parks here. They're pretty great. Let me see. I think what I'm thinking of is in Brașov. We'll find out. If not, we'll come back. But we gotta see the mud volcanoes, which are up here. Can you see right there? 1, 2. Like a little vampire bite. Here are the mud volcanoes. See, now I thought you could only find mud volcanoes like this in Azerbaijan, but nope, here we are in Romania with volcanoes spewing hot mud out of it. I wonder if like it's ever collected once it's cooled for like medicinal purposes or cosmetics or something like that. It seems like it would have some kind of benefit like that. I don't know. But it's very muddy, very goopy, very blobby. Very beautiful. Those are neat mountains there. I did find like a lot of other beautiful things to see in Buzău, but the pictures on Google Earth were kind of terrible, so we're going to skip them. But I'm sure that you guys will drop some in the comments. Like, be sure to check that out. Look at this. Look at this warning sign. So hold on, let me see. It's so tiny and I can't zoom in. It says, if you're thinking about a bike or an ATV, goodness, what does it say? Then you should know that dogs and dragons have some things in common. Okay. There's various little signs over here warning about the dragons. Which, I mean, good to warn about dragons, I suppose. Oh, see here, it says, in case you want to pick a flower, you should know that the dragon really cares about his garden. And there's all the flowers that grow here, so you can spot all the plants. And look at this landscape. Can you see like the people down there? And that's all of the mud that's dried up from the volcanoes. Interesting, interesting. All right, let's head over to beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Brașov. Let's look at this town. So right off the bat, there's this big old hill here called Tampa, I think. I really want to say Tampa because I'm American, and there's Tampa, Florida. But you can take a little, I think it's like a little gondola ride up to the top and look down at the town down below. It's all very beautiful. There's a Romanian flag, of course, up at the top, but you could take a little cable ride up to the tippy top of the hill. Or you could just hike it, I'm pretty sure. I'm sure there's loads of hiking trails up here. There's also like a Hollywood style sign. You can kind of see it right here. That says Brașov. Let's see. Let's find a good picture of this. There it is from behind. And there it is from the front. So that everyone knows that you are in Brașov. Down at the foot here is a really cool building, the Weaver's Bastion. So like I said, lots of crafts were centered here. And this is where the weavers met. And this big, like, that's so pretty. In this big building. They're playing some tennis there. I definitely cannot read that. But like, what a cool building. Gosh, it's like Disneyland. Like, it's so beautiful. Look, it looks like a bullfighting ring or like the Globe Theater or something. And they do ice skating outside in the winter time, of course. There's the whole city. You can see the walls around it. Some of them are still up, but oh, they're having an orchestra there. Some old artwork there. Looks like it's engraved in that wood. How cool is that? It's a really neat building. Speaking of neat buildings, I think it's this. Yep, this is the first Romanian school, where school was taught in Romanian, the very first place in like the whole world, I suppose. I don't see why anywhere else would be first. Pretty great. And you can see it's of course a museum now, how schools were taught back then. Beautiful office there. Look at all the painted walls there. I'm sure that's a church nearby. Some more beautiful Romanian costumes. I think that's the black church there. So we don't want to look at too much. We don't want to get spoiled. But let's head over in that direction. Here's one of the old gates to the city. It looks perfectly medieval because it is. Because this was built so long ago. Oh, one of my cats used the litter box and it's super stinky. And now they're scratching again. You know, they can't wait 5 minutes. They just cannot. They have to interrupt. What does it say here? Built in 1559 to replace an old gate destroyed by a flood in 1526, named after the monastery that was nearby. Let me see. Oh, we did look at that. Okay, that's the weavers. I want to show you down here the main plaza. But let's look at the black church first, because I'm pretty sure that all of these pictures, her slideshows have pictures of the black church regardless. So let's just get that out of the way. My cats are growling. I wish they wouldn't. Kitties, imagine not doing that while I'm filming. Imagine doing literally anything else. I know, okay. Big old pipe organ. I think I read that it's the largest in Eastern Europe, or at least the largest that still works. And you can see, like, it's not black, right? It's like very dark gray. This door is, I would call that black, but I wouldn't call this black. But it's smoke damage and fire damage from so long ago. So I wonder if all of these are black from the smoke and fire damage. A lot of the interior is very dark. Jet, hey, stop growling at your sister, please. She's not doing anything. Knock it off, please. But yeah. Let's see. Let's find a good picture. Ooh, very daunting there on the cloudy night. And of course, oh, here we go. Like something like this. How this painting is very dark. So I wondered, it's either they commissioned a bunch of very dark paintings for the Black Church, or it's also smoke damaged from that fire so long ago. Over here we have another guild building. The council house. Right in the middle of the plaza. And of course it's very like medieval and iconic. Look at all the beautiful buildings around. This city is so pretty, and like I said, it's because so much is preserved. Like nothing was really, oh, that's a scary statue. Oh, we'll see that in a second. Nothing was oh gosh, Google Earth's crashing. Nothing was destroyed like it was in other towns in Romania. 1 second. Here we go. My goodness. Let's see if there's so many slideshows here that we could look at this main square area. There's the sign out there. So yeah, what is that little narrow? What is this? This is Rope Street. Rope Street is over here. And it is called the narrowest street in Europe. If I can, there you go. Oh, that's the historic monument of 1388. Maybe that's not Rope Street. That's Rope Street. I thought that wasn't narrow enough. This is Rope Street. There we go. The narrowest street in the city of Brașov, but it's believed to be one of the narrowest streets in Europe. So this alleyway here was built by the firemen, there's Rope Street, so that they could easily access the church. And the, you know, cats, I swear, I love you guys, but you're really pushing it. I'm almost done. Okay, they're really cute. So that they could easily access the church and the main plaza area in case of a fire, because I guess that did happen. I can see all the beautiful sights around while my cats scratch at their scratcher under my desk. That's really ominous there. There's the Brașov sign from above. You can see how narrow it is. Okay, Bon, that's enough. Bon, you don't need to scratch right now. You really don't. You can wait a little bit longer. My poor kitties, they just want my attention. But yeah, there are loads of neat things here around town. As always, I highly encourage you to check them out. Look at that square tower ruins. You can see where the wall once was. Look at that. How neat is that? It's all graffitied. It's my cat losing her mind. There's, gosh, no, there's more I need to show you. Hold on. Bonnie? Come on. Imagine not. Please go do something else, I swear. There's more I need to show you here. Let me scooch my loud chair back up. My goodness. These cats are driving me nuts. Up here? I think it was up here. Maybe not on this hill. It's all apartments and such. This hill, is the old fortress. You can see the little starry shape there. The fortress on the watchtower. Look how pretty. All preserved, of course, because it was never destroyed like many of the other fortresses. There's a little cable car going up to the top of the hill. And it's all beautiful. Romanian flag there. You see the Brașov sign at the distance. I really wish my cats would stop. I'm sorry if they're bothering you. I really am. They are playing under the desk now and everything's wobbling. My goodness. Kitty cats, please stop. It's too dark. I can't see where they are, but they're down here scratching at stuff. Losing it. And it stinks like kitty poo in here as well. Oh my goodness. Then over here, that's the University of Transylvania, Opera House. There's lots of neat things. The parks here are really neat as well. And of course, there's lots of hills because we are at the foothills of the Transylvanian Alps. We can look at, make sure that that's not part. Let me put the borders of, my goodness, Brașov County up. Brașov County. Oh, my cats are, I swear. Okay, hold on. The headphones are coming off. Kitty cats, you're about to get evicted. Oh my gosh, it stinks in here. Kitty cats are about to get evicted. Where are they? Bonnie, I see you now. Hiding behind the desk. Get out, please. Come on, Buzz. Come on, kid. You are, I know, but you're being a menace. You're being a menace, Bonnie. Please stop. Alright, there goes the tow truck. My goodness. I can't just film one ASMR video. There has to be all this nonsense around all the time. My tablet's crashing. Cars outside. Okay, we're gonna get through it. We did already look at the tallest mountain in Romania. Here we go. We can look at this. Oh, but that's spoilers actually. Never mind. It's just gonna show Bran Castle. But it's all beautiful mountains. I'm going to show you this anyway. Oh, yeah. It's in Brașov County, along with all the others. Big, beautiful mountains. Look at that building. How gorgeous is that? Big, neat rocks and valleys. I think that's a resort. I've read a lot about the resorts here, but I haven't, checked them out because I want to show you more of the history, but some of you have recommended them. Some of the Romanians out there said we should check them out. So there we go. All right, let's see. So if you know the story of Dracula, written by Bram Stoker, who had not been to Romania ever in his life, but he heard enough. I think he checked out a book and read about Transylvania and got all of his knowledge from that. So Dracula, everyone knows Dracula, famous vampire, lives in a castle, turns into a bat, children of the night, all of that. This has been designated the Dracula Castle because it fits the description of Dracula's castle in Transylvania. So let's take a look at it. Up on the hill, all ominous. But when I look at pictures of it, it's actually really beautiful. I know Ghost Adventures did an episode here. That show is awful. Don't watch it. It's garbage. Especially that episode. It was awful. They really play up the spookiness, the vampireness of this castle and this town, especially during Halloween. But I don't think it's spooky at all. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It gets photoshopped to make it look really spooky. When I made the intro to this video, I had to comb through a bunch of different edits of the castle in the distance that made it look all scary. But I think it's beautiful. See, I don't think that's creepy at all. Big castle in the distance. I think it's pretty. Wow, it's a lot of meats. All right. I think the cats are gone right when the video's done, but at least they didn't interrupt Bran Castle. I think it's beautiful. I don't think it's spooky at all, but maybe I just have to come here and see for myself. See, I think it's charming. I think they think so too. It is lovely here. And of course, there's so many other things to see in this area and in Brașov County. As always, I recommend that you poke around and see what you can find for yourself. But it does kind of go off into the plains here, and it's mostly just farmland once again. But anyway, there's a science museum. There's so much here in this town to do. It's really great. There's the zoo. Like there's you could spend like days here and be entertained. And of course you hop over to the Dracula Castle and see that. I've heard that they in Bucharest they're going to build a Dracula theme park. But I get why they're building a Dracula theme park. But Bucharest is not in Transylvania, and like vampires in Transylvania go hand in hand. Why wouldn't they pick some spot in Transylvania to build a Dracula theme park? I do not know. That's kind of silly, but they're doing it in Bucharest, which is the most populous, and there's probably space there to build a big old Dracula themed theme park. See, like Transylvanian Inn. There's all kinds of like spooky woo-woo stuff around town. Here's the National Museum, which if I recall the slideshow's not that great. It just shows a bunch of furniture. It's very nice, but I love the traditional clothes here in Romania. But yeah, they really play up the spooky woo-woo here. Which, I mean, this is their big tourist draw, so I get it. Look at all the hotels. My goodness. Casa Dracula. Transylvania Lodge. The Brand Chalet. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have for you tonight. Sorry about the cats. They're a menace, as always. Let's look at the mountain while we end this video. Oh gosh, they just came back in. Let's end this quick. Thank you so much for watching. Tomorrow's video is going to be the last Romania video that we cover for the near future. I think Constanza is the next. No, I think there's one next. I think there's a central something in Romania coming up. Or maybe that's Slovenia. Because I have to do a makeup for Slovenia too. I'll shut up. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this style of content, please consider subscribing. Oh my gosh. They're driving me crazy. And like I said, tomorrow's video will be tablet only. I'm going to wait for these guys to go back to sleep before I film it so that they won't be interrupting and scratching everything under my desk the whole time. Look how pretty. I think I said that last time I looked at the slideshow. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I hope that you found this video to be relaxing and educational, and I hope that you have a good night. Good night. Good night.